to his car. Now, he wasn't a suspect. Wasn't in the fight. I don't know why the cops were even following him. But then you see they're bunching up and he's trying to get in the car. And one of them grabs him by the T-shirt and is yanking him and firing his weapon into the guy's back.
Right.
Which is like,
but something had to happen before then. I mean, the police must have said, hey, stay there. He's like, hey, I'm not involved. I'm trying to break up this fight. They're like, stay there.
Well, he might have said, am I under arrest? And they said no.
He might have said, fuck you, I'm going back to my car.
Right, which you don't deserve to die for that either. So, I mean,
right.
There's nothing that can justify what they did. I mean, they said that he was going after a knife. He had a knife in the car. You're telling me you're afraid for your life when you and 4 of your buddies have guns and you think a guy's going for a knife in the glove compartment? Everybody's got a knife in their glove compartment. So do I.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I mean, you need a multi-tool in your glove compartment.
You do have a knife in your glove compartment.
Well, I've got scissors. I take kids out. I buy them a toy. They want it open right now, and I got to be ready to open it.
God, don't get me started on that.
So, I mean, yeah. I don't know. I just...
Well, that's another thing. I don't know if you saw it. Did you see the thing in Tiburon, bringing it back to Northern California?
Oh.
Did you see the store owners?
I heard the story on the radio that the store owner was named Malik, something like that.
Some dude.
Yeah, brown guy.
No, he's a black guy.
Oh, was he? Okay,
yeah.
Well, he was in his store in Tiburon at 1 o'clock in the morning doing something. The cops came along and they said, this is coming from like CBS News. Yeah. This is what I heard.
No, I saw it.
You saw it?
I watched the video, yeah.
Oh, there's a video?
Oh, yeah. There's a body cam of the cop.
Oh, fuck. Okay, so anyways, yeah, he was working. The cops came. I don't know what they did because I got the fast version from the radio, but they were asking him, is this your store? Is this your store? And he said, I don't have to answer you. And they said, well, show us some proof that this is your store. And he refused to answer them because I guess he didn't have to. And so the other store owner neighbors came along and they're like, yeah, this is his store. Like, back off,
It was
man.
crazy. No, the video. So the cop goes up.
Yeah.
And basically what the cop sees is here's a store in a call it a strip mall or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
right?
but it's a fancy schmancy strip mall. It's
right.
upscale.
It's
Tiburon's a wealthy area.
Yeah, it's Marin County. So.
Yeah. Right across, you can see the Golden Gate Bridge. It's beautiful. But only rich people can afford it.
Right. No, it's an affluent area.
Yeah.
Very affluent area.
Yeah.
And so here's a black guy in a store.
Yeah.
At 1 a.m.
Tending to his boutique.
Looks like he's working, probably with maybe his wife and someone
there was
else.
Family
yeah,
there
was
with
3
him?
people.
Oh,
there.
okay. I thought it was just him.
And the cop comes up and knocks on the door, and he opens the door, and the guy's like, "What's the problem?" And he's like, "Well, it's a little late for people to be in a store." And the guy's like, "What's the problem?" I don't have a problem. I didn't call the police. We're in here minding our own business. Now, he didn't say, we're minding our business, but he doesn't have to. There's no problem. Nobody's called. There's no complaint. There's no alarm. There's no nothing. He's minding his own business in his store. And
they just decided he looked suspicious.
Well, he's a black guy in Tiburon, and he doesn't want to answer, obviously, because he's pissed. He's
right.
Like,
yeah.
And I got to be honest, if I were working in my store in Tiburon at 1 a.m., nobody'd give me any trouble.
No, or me for sure.
Yeah, you for sure. So, I mean,
they might open the door and go, "Are you feeling safe? Do you need help? Do you want a guard?"
And and what's funny is we're, I was digging on Wisconsin earlier, but here we are in, call it a wealthy suburb of San Francisco, and you got the same thing, and so the store owner says, "Get your supervisor over here," and the supervisor shows up, right? Uh-huh. And so at this point, and I want to give a shout out to law enforcement in Marin County. I know law enforcement in Marin County, but we sort of expect better. And the guy's supervisor comes up and just enters into the same line of, "Well, you've got to tell us what you're doing here."
Yeah.
In America, right? And what's funny is you have all the gun-toting people talking about their rights in America. Here's a guy on his own property, minding his own business, and it's like your home. You don't ever let the cops in your house, man. And he doesn't have to give a reason. There's nothing.
Oh.
They're just rolling up. They're basically pulling him over for no reason in his store. So I don't know. That bugged me. I mean, on a lighter note, did you hear there's a new book coming out about Melania?
I did actually hear about that, written by her best friend who looks like she could be her sister.
Oh, really? Are they sisters? Because I saw the glare at the nomination acceptance speech.
Yeah, that was good. Well, and that's what it's partly in the book, the little excerpt that I read. It was like a review of the book with a small excerpt that just basically said that, for one thing, there was a instance where I guess the first lady's supposed to give some women's recognition dinner. I can't remember what it's called, but it's for all the governor's wives, I guess. Okay. So they come, I don't know if it's a dinner or a luncheon or some fancy first lady planning
First lady thing. Okay.
So
first
Ivanka chimes in. She wants to help and be part of it.
Ivanka probably thinks she is the first lady. And
Melania's like, don't send her any info about it. I don't want her doing it. I'm going to do it. I'm the first lady. I'm doing it. So basically, then Ivanka was like, well, I didn't get the memo. Where's all the paperwork? I didn't get to see blah, blah, blah. So, they don't get along. I'm getting the feeling that Ivanka does kind of try to push her, out of the way, push her to the side. But basically, the author of the book was
well, they're almost the same age. I mean,
yeah. She said, basically we were really good friends. But the truth of the matter is that, Melania just does not care. This whole "I don't care, do you" thing, she really doesn't care.
Oh, I saw an excerpt too that I find a little hard to believe. Why she didn't want to move into the White House. Did you hear that?
I did, about the toilets and that she wanted to change the toilet. Well, I mean, I'm no fan of Melania. Right. And I think she's psycho, and it does sound racist and stuff. But I will say now, after having lived in a house of new construction, I wouldn't move into a house without having my own toilet. I wouldn't want to sit on somebody else's toilet. I don't care who they are. I want my own toilet.
Yeah, but
I probably wouldn't rip out the shower, though. That might be crossing the line.
Can't you just throw the sanitized bar across the top, Well,
I mean, and the thing of it is that you'd probably want it replaced eventually. I mean, you don't have to have it like, I'm not sitting on that toilet. Like, eventually I will be changing it and having my own toilet.
I'm going to go maybe change the actual seat part, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say you're not going to, you, Rosemary, would not delay moving into the White House because of the toilet.
No, I wouldn't.
Or the shower. I mean, that's ridiculous.
A little bit much. But these are extremely entitled racist assholes. So there you have it,
And it did say specifically because it was Michelle Obama had used that toilet. It's not because Steve Bannon. I mean, nobody wants to go after Steve Bannon into the bathroom, that's for sure.
Oh boy.
We haven't heard much from him either. He got arrested and bailed out.
Yeah.
And then he kind of gave everybody the finger for a while.
I think we hear from him every day indirectly. I think he's the mastermind behind all of this BS. I do.
Yep. Well, the racist part for sure,
So Michael Moore is out today saying that he thinks Trump's going to win.
I'm done with Michael Moore. I'm so over Michael Moore. Can we not care what he thinks about anymore?
Yeah, well, we don't, but he's taking a beating on Twitter right now because of it. He says he thinks Trump's going to win because his base's enthusiasm is at an all-time high. Personally, I think it's a convention bump, and I think that the more things get worse, I mean...
Well, I've always made this point about the base turnout argument for Trump, and that is, there's a finite number of racists. And he's had racist density for 3 years, so I don't see I don't see a lot of new racists getting made, and I see a lot of people that are not happy with the country who didn't show up in 2016 who will now show up.
Yeah,
but part of me, Michael Moore, part of me thinks he's saying that just to get attention.
Well, he might be.
He is an attention hog,
and he likes to be right. I mean, he's still saying, I told you this was going to happen in 2016. I mean, and it barely happened.
He said he said he thinks it could happen because of certain reasons. And, I mean, it's, the sun shines on everybody every once in a while, but his smugness of, I know better. I'm Michael Moored out. I can't do him.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, didn't he go? He went on some kick where he was banging on climate scientists, saying climate change has been exaggerated. Or something too.
No, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's enough.
just to be sensational.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So
just to be sensational.
Just to be sensational. So one other thing that we are in the middle of COVID-19 in 20. By the way, COVID-19 refers to when it was discovered to be a virus. So for anybody that says nobody knew this was going to happen, they did discover the virus last year.
So get this. I don't know if you heard about this or not, but I guess in China, oh boy, they found a,
You're supposed to say China.
No, it sounds a little fishy, but okay. In China, there's this like apartment complex, right? And there was people who lived on one floor and they had COVID.
Okay.
And then the apartment directly above it was vacant. And the apartment directly above that was also vacant.
Okay, you got to preface this if this is a Twitter thing.
I don't know if it's
okay.
Twitter
Go with it.
I might have read it on like Flipboard or something. But anyways, they're a little bit panicked because they went into the vacant apartments and they tested and they found COVID like all over the place.
Oh, just on surfaces?
They're trying to say that they think it actually went through the pipes and came up through the toilet. I'm not kidding, because they've found it in sewage and stuff like that. To me, I'm like, the first thing I thought was, no, the people who were sick went up there and broke into the apartment and lived in it. They found it like on faucets and all kinds of stuff.
You're saying it was an empty apartment.
Yeah.
And there's no other way it could got.
Well, that they think that they've come to the conclusion that it came up through the toilet.
Yeah, I'm going to go bullshit on that one.
Yeah. I hope so, because if that's true, we're really fucked. There's no way we can avoid it if that's the case. I mean, if it goes through pipes.
Nah.
We're all connected like George Costanza.
It's all pipes. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say nah. But
I really hope
But the other thing that was shocking was that the CDC said, and you know what, and going back to Trump, is he loves hiding shit. He loves, lack of, like, they're not going to report about election interference to the House anymore.
Yeah. Oh God, I saw Chuck Todd this morning was talking about it.
I'm talking here.
Oh, sorry.
No, but the testing. And now they want to do, the CDC is saying, you don't have to test so much. You don't have to test so much. Why? Because they still have not, August 30th? They still have not gotten their shit together on testing. And so now they're claiming, well, you don't really need to test because we don't have our shit together on testing.
Well, aren't we using crappy tests?
Yeah, the tests are
That's why there's all these false negatives and false positives everywhere.
But they totally changed their guidelines on this is when you need to test people, right? Have you been in contact with somebody? There's a whole list of screening questions. And now they're paring it down because they don't have the ability to test all these people. It's absurd. So someone who's had direct contact with COVID now, who doesn't show symptoms, they're like, maybe you don't need to test them.
Oh no. Yeah. They've said you don't have to test asymptomatic people. Those are exactly the people who you have to test, because if they go around the world without knowing they have it, if someone's on their, well, I don't want to say deathbed, but if someone's really sick, with COVID, I think it's pretty obvious, like what happened to Joseph Fair. He had it. He's sure he had it. He had all the symptoms and he kept taking tests and they kept coming back negative. And then he got well and they did an antibody test, and sure enough, that one came back positive. So it's like if you can be reasonably sure that you have it, if you're having the symptoms, severe symptoms that everybody else is having. And even if you don't, you better quarantine anyway, because whatever you do have, you probably don't want to spread that either.
Right.
But I mean, the asymptomatic people are the people who need it the most.
If anything, you should be testing the people that aren't sick.
Yeah.
Who are in contact with the people that are sick. Because the people that are sick, there's a pretty high risk and they're going to be isolated. But the people that are in contact with them, those are the people you need to know.
I hope they're testing every nurse and every doctor and those people need to be
everybody.
tested like constantly.
I mean, it goes back to the point that Trump doesn't like, that if you test, you can see it. But you can't stop it until you see it.
That's what they say, if I don't, what I don't know won't hurt me. Hey, You know, if I don't weigh myself, I still weigh 105 pounds. I weigh 105 pounds.
The last time you checked.
Yeah. That's how it works, isn't it?